have met or exceeded that standard. Congratulations. Kara Christina Insheimer.
To hold myself and others accountable for our actions.
Now, Lord our God, we pray that you will bless these officers.
Heroes and public servants protecting all. It's an honor to be part of this step in your life for them to become heroes and public servants protecting all of us. I feel that I'm very privileged to have a small part in watching you all take the role and take center stage in the state forward. I'm going to give you the oath of office. The constitutional oath of office is the one I know best by heart. And I'll go through that with you. I want you to know how hard that oath works at making sure you avoid violence, to the point of laughing when you get to the point of bringing the part about doing it. It's very, very serious how they emphasize no bloodshed in this state in order to qualify for an office. Then part 2 of the oath is one that I don't always do, but because of the ceremony today, that's the add-on just for the police force of our Commonwealth, and I will read that part to you as well. So if you will, please raise your right hand. I will go through the oath, and at its completion, please indicate your willingness to embark on this journey by saying, I do. Okay. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and that I will be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky so long as I continue a citizen thereof, and that I will faithfully execute to the best of my ability the office of Vehicle Enforcement Officer of the Kentucky State Police according to law. And I do further solemnly swear that since the adoption of the present Constitution, I, being a citizen of this state, have not fought a duel with deadly weapons within this state nor out of it, nor have I sent or accepted a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons, nor have I acted as second in carrying a challenge, nor aided or assisted any person thus offended, so help me God. Further, I do solemnly swear that to the best of my ability, I will detect and prosecute all gamblers and others violating the laws against gambling. Further, I do solemnly swear that I will, without respect to persons, faithfully and impartially perform the duties of an investigator of the Kentucky State Police to the best of my ability, showing neither favor nor partiality to any person or persons, firms or corporations, and that I will at all times conduct myself as a gentleman and will not use intoxicating liquors while on duty as such officer, so help me God. Do you so swear?
I do.
Welcome to the service, and thank you very much.
That's partly good news for us as well. The other good news is, in our lives, we don't have many opportunities to really strut our stuff, unabated, without any type of repercussions at all. But today is one of those days. Today you get to strut your stuff, hold your head high, wear your hat, and walk out of here very, very proud, as you should. Now the bad news, or at least the counter news to that, is tomorrow all that changes. Because the oath of office that you just took, we have sworn to protect the public. And as a result of doing that, our leadership role changes somewhat, and we become servants of the public that we've sworn to protect. It's an interesting balance of power. We have all this power that's been given us, all this authority that's been given us, that many men and women just dream about having in their life. And yet that's balanced, almost counterintuitively at times, by being almost subservient to the people that we serve, people that we've sworn to protect under any circumstances. And I know that Travis Tennell, who's former sergeant with us, I know he talked to you a little bit about your uniforms, particularly those KSP pins that you have on your collar, and the seal that we wear on our hats. And even though our uniforms may be a little bit different color, and our hats are a different shade, make no mistake about it, this is much more than symbolism. It's even much more than history. If you stop and think about it, today, in today's society, there are less than 1,200 people in the world that get to wear that seal in any shape or form. And you've just become one of them. And with the power that you've just been given comes a great deal of responsibility. And I'm going to tell you a quick story, because I know everybody's stomach's growling, and you want to get out here to eat. But it's a story that I tell every one of our cadet classes, whether it's a gray class, whether it's a tan class. It's a story about what happened to me when I was just about in the same position that you are today, a few years ago. We were about 2 weeks away from graduating from the State Police Academy. We'd been given some Christmas leave, and I went home, and I don't remember much about that Christmas other than this one particular gift that I got. And this particular gift was a gift from my brother. When I opened it up, it was a wooden nightstick about that long. And there was a note with the nightstick that said, "I know that you'll never use this nightstick. I know that you'll have," as he called it, "an official model." We call it issued equipment. But he said, "I didn't give it to you to use. It was turned by an amateur woodworker in my church. I gave it to you as a visible token of my approval of who you are and the journey that you're about to embark on." He said, "If you look close, flush in the end of the stick, there are two very small pieces of barbed wire that are embedded flush in the end of the stick. Those pieces of barbed wire had come from an old section of the Berlin Wall when my brother and I had traveled to Europe several years before that. And my brother, being a Presbyterian minister, was not going to get past the opportunity to preach some sermons. And they were the best kind. They were on point, and they were short." He said, "There's basically two sermons that represent those two pieces of barbed wire in the end of that stick." He said, "The first sermon is pretty simple." He said, "People desperately need protecting, so always, always do a good job." He said, "The second piece of barbed wire represents the excesses to which power and authority can sometimes fall prey to if you're not careful." And he quoted Shakespeare and he said, "It's a good thing to have the strength of a giant, but it can be tyrannous to use it like a giant." It's a good thing to have the strength of a giant, but it can be tyrannous to use it like one. I never ever forgot that. And in my early trooping days, and in my days going through the supervisory process in the state police, I always remembered that balance, that from that oath of office, and from our statutory authority, comes an incredible amount of power and authority that's vested in us. But there's always that balance that we have to maintain. Most people will be respectful and even subservient of your authority on most days. Some days they will not. And you will have to use the physical tactics and the training that you've been provided to make them come into compliance, unfortunately. But always remember that you don't have to constantly remind people of the power and authority that you have. It is inherent, and they will know that just by virtue of who you are and what you represent. The last lesson is this. Make no mistake, just because you wear a different color uniform and maybe have a little bit different mission than your brothers and sisters in gray, you are very, very much a part of the Kentucky State Police. And as we continue this journey that we're on, developing new training standards, new academies, exciting projects and initiatives, you are very, very much a part of that. And I'm very excited, as I hope you all are today. I wish you the very, very best, and good luck to each of you. Stay safe. Now we'll get some photo ops for Christmas cards.